Kevin stepped into the crowded café, feeling the familiar knot of anxiety twist in their stomach. The place buzzed with chatter. Friends laughed, couples leaned close, and lively groups filled tables. The scent of coffee hung in the air, warm and inviting. Yet, instead of feeling cozy, Kevin felt alone. They scanned the room, wishing for a friend or friendly face to talk to. Instead, Kevin took a deep breath and shuffled toward a table in the corner. As they sat down, they felt the weight of being an outsider settle on their shoulders. At events like this, expectations can build like a wave ready to crash. Friends often joke that it's easy to just join the fun, but for Kevin, that was far from the truth. Every time they looked up, they saw people engaging with ease, exchanging stories and laughter. Meanwhile, Kevin's mind raced, wondering what to say or how to fit in. The noise swirled around them, but it felt like being trapped in a bubble, separated from the joy everyone else experienced. The social pressure was like a spotlight, drawing attention to their every action or inaction, making them feel even more fragile. This kind of situation is something many people face. Whether it is at a work event, a party, or even during lunch at school, moments like these happen to everyone. Most people have felt lonely in a room full of people. Some have felt as if they are standing on the outside of a circle, unable to get in. The pressure to connect can be overwhelming. What if someone does not know what to say? What if they say the wrong thing? Imagining these conclusions only heightens the feeling of isolation. Everyone wants to be part of the crowd, to laugh along and share stories. Yet it can be hard when fear takes over. Knowing that others understand this feeling brings some comfort. Even the most outgoing people encounter moments of uncertainty. Insightful conversations and laughter do not come easily for everyone. Most people face times of quiet when they wish to join in but feel blocked. These emotions are real and shared among many. Building the skills to overcome these barriers is crucial, and it is possible for anyone. The feeling of being unable to connect is a starting point for personal growth. Every journey begins with a small step, no matter how challenging it appears. For Kevin, sitting alone became the catalyst for change. They wanted to learn to engage freely, break past their feelings of doubt, and make meaningful connections. This desire sparked a journey toward building better social skills. Saying no to anxiety would mean saying yes to opportunities. Kevin's exploration begins here, in the heart of their social struggles. Understanding that this feeling of isolation can happen to anyone can be the first step to finding hope. It reminds us we are all on a social journey, trying to learn and grow. With these realizations, Kevin's story is just starting. The cafe might feel like a daunting arena, but it also holds the promise of new friendships and experiences within it. As Kevin sat in the cafe, they felt a wave of frustration wash over them. Looking around, they noticed people deep in conversation, their smiles wide and easy. Kevin wished they could join in, but instead, they felt stuck in their chair. It was hard to smile or even wave at someone. Each time they tried, doubt crept back in. What if no one wanted to talk? What if Kevin said something silly? Those thoughts made it harder to reach out. While drinking their coffee, Kevin recalled the last gathering they attended. There had been laughter and fun, but Kevin felt left out. They remembered standing against the wall as friends chatted in groups. Kevin longed to share a funny story or join a game, but each time they approached a cluster of friends, their heart raced. The words got stuck. Being in the background made them feel invisible. Instead of connecting, Kevin felt more isolated. It was frustrating to watch friends have fun as Kevin held back. Back in the cafe, an older gentleman, Mr. Levi, noticed Kevin's struggle. He sat at a nearby table, reading a newspaper. He looked up and smiled softly at Kevin. It was a simple act, but it warmed Kevin's heart. Maybe, just maybe, Mr. Levi understood. Kevin realized that not everyone was caught up in their world. Some people see and care. It helped Kevin feel a little less alone in their thoughts. Despite that small comfort, the struggle was real. Social gatherings felt like climbing a mountain. Conversations sometimes felt like facing a wall. Kevin did not want to fall back on their old habits. They wanted to change and grow but did not know how. More often than not, fear of rejection held them back. The thought of being turned away felt like a weight. So, instead of risking disappointment, staying quiet felt safer. Kevin began to think about ways to change this pattern. They noticed that asking questions seemed to help others talk. Maybe if they tried to listen more, they could engage better. But taking that first step was always the hardest. Kevin felt like a bird at the edge of a cage, wanting to fly but afraid of the open sky. The fear of falling kept them grounded. However, in the back of their mind, there was a little voice filled with hope. It said that everyone has fears, and those who succeed still feel scared sometimes. There had to be a way through this challenge. Maybe it was okay to start small. What if Kevin practiced by saying hello to Mr. Levi? Starting with just one conversation could make a difference. Kevin's heart raced at the thought, but they knew this could be the turning point. The willingness to step outside their comfort zone filled them with a sense of control and determination. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new chapter. Making connections felt possible, even if it started with gentle steps or small interactions. Kevin looked towards Mr. Levi again, feeling the urge to break the silence. They realized that it was time. It was time to hold their head high and try, no matter how small the effort seemed. Taking a deep breath, Kevin decided to say hello to Mr. Levi. After a moment of hesitation, they finally mustered the courage to stand up and walk over. The distance felt long, as if every step weighed heavily on their heart. When Kevin reached Mr. Levi's table, they felt a mix of hope and fear. With a soft voice, Kevin said, "Hi, I'm Kevin. Mind if I sit here?" Mr. Levi looked up from his newspaper. He smiled warmly and replied, "Of course, Kevin. Nice to meet you." Kevin felt a flood of relief wash over them, but the rush of joy was short-lived. While they both enjoyed coffee, silence began to fill the space. Kevin wanted to say something, anything, but their mind grew blank. They looked down at their cup, searching for words. The rush of embarrassment made them wish to shrink away. Feeling awkward, Kevin tried to push through their discomfort. They wanted to ask about the newspaper. Kevin often saw Mr. Levi reading it but could not think of a good question. Instead, they blurted out, "What is your favorite article?" The question stumbled awkwardly out of their mouth, and Kevin immediately knew they had made a mistake. Mr. Levi's eyes widened in surprise, and hesitation hung in the air. Mr. Levi took a moment and then smiled, a bit confused but kind. "Oh, I like the sports section. Do you enjoy sports?" Suddenly, the conversation took on a new turn. Kevin nodded but felt lost. While they enjoyed watching sports occasionally, they weren't really a fan. What could they say now? Silence crept back in, making the moment uncomfortable. A hot blush crept over Kevin's cheeks as they wished they had prepared more. Realizing their failure at connecting left Kevin feeling vulnerable. Just minutes ago, they felt brave, but now those feelings slipped away. After a few moments, Kevin whispered, "I'm sorry. I'm not very good at talking." The words felt heavy yet true. Mr. Levi looked at Kevin with understanding. "Everyone struggles sometimes, my friend," he said gently. "It takes practice to get better." His kindness helped ease the tension, but Kevin still felt disappointed in themselves. Yet, the fear of social situations grew. What if the next person Kevin spoke to wasn't as nice as Mr. Levi? This thought echoed in their mind. With each failed attempt or awkward moment, the shadow of doubt loomed heavier. Social interactions began to feel like climbing a steep hill, where each step felt harder than the last. There was always the possibility of falling back down, feeling rejected or overlooked. The weight of this fear tightened Kevin's resolve to try again. Each encounter became a test, showing how every small victory felt overshadowed by the risks of failure. At their next gathering, they found themselves in a similar situation, standing near a group of friends chatting. Life seemed to race while Kevin stood still, paralyzed by self-doubt. Should they join? Would they find the right words? Finally, they decided to step closer. As the conversation flowed, Kevin heard laughter but felt disconnected. They wished for a path to enter the ring of humor and joy. Instead, they felt like a ghost, hovering on the edges of joy, unable to touch it. The struggle continued, raising tension in Kevin's heart. Their desire to connect felt both strong and fragile. It was a tiring dance between hope and fear, with each step leaving Kevin more determined to break free from solitude. Sooner or later, they would find a way. After several weeks of feeling awkward in social situations, Kevin attended another gathering at a friend's house. The familiar knot of anxiety formed in their stomach as they entered the room. It was decorated with bright lights and laughter, but instead of feeling excited, Kevin felt tense. Friends mingled together, sharing stories. Kevin noticed one friend, Lisa, speaking energetically, holding everyone's attention. Walking around the room felt like swimming against a current. As the night went on, Kevin found a corner where they could observe. Watching others connect made them feel jealous. Every smile and laugh raised the wall higher around them. They wanted to join in but couldn't find the words. Suddenly, Kevin felt overwhelmed and decided to leave early. The thought of walking out felt like giving up, and yet, it also brought a wave of relief. Just before stepping outside, they heard a familiar voice. "Kevin, where are you going?" It was Mr. Levi from the café. He had noticed Kevin trying to escape the gathering. His kind eyes looked concerned but wise. "You don't have to run away," he said gently. "I know this can feel hard." Kevin sighed and turned to face him. "I just don't belong here. I feel lost in every conversation." Mr. Levi smiled and sat down next to Kevin. "You're not alone. I have felt the same way. Sometimes, you just need a little push to find your way." His words hit deep. Kevin realized he wasn't the only one struggling. Everyone has challenges. It's a part of growing and learning. "Do you want me to share a secret?" Mr. Levi asked, leaning closer. "I once had a very shy friend. Each time they tried to speak, they felt nervous just like you. One day, they decided to connect with others in a small way. Just a hello. Simple, but it changed everything for them." Hearing this gave Kevin hope. Maybe they didn't need to jump into big conversations right away. They could just start small. "That sounds easy," Kevin said, feeling inspired. "But what if I still freeze up?" Mr. Levi nodded, understanding the fear. "If you freeze, remember that everyone else is human too. They all have fears, worries, and mistakes. It's part of life. If you fall, just get up again. Keep trying." In that moment, something clicked for Kevin. Felt like a light had turned on. They knew they had to change this pattern of fear. Kevin was tired of running from their feelings. Maybe it was time to face their challenges. They wanted to be part of these joyful moments, even if it felt scary. The next time they spoke to someone, they could use Mr. Levi's gentle advice. Start with a hello, share a smile, and allow themselves to be open, even if it was challenging. With renewed determination, Kevin took a deep breath and thanked Mr. Levi. "I will try. I think I can do it." Mr. Levi smiled, his eyes full of encouragement. "Remember, it's a journey. Take it one step at a time. Each small effort grows into something bigger." Feeling slightly less burdened, Kevin walked back towards the group. Each step felt lighter, filled with a newfound belief that they could connect. Even if rejection was possible, pushing forward mattered more. Returning to the room seemed less intimidating. They were ready to embrace this journey of growth. That night became the turning point on Kevin's path to overcoming insecurity. They were prepared to step into the social space again. Only this time, they would be doing so with hope and courage in their heart. With Mr. Levi's encouragement still fresh in their mind, Kevin returned to the gathering, feeling lighter and more determined. As they walked through the room, Kevin noticed a small group near the snack table. Friends chatted and laughed, clearly enjoying each other's company. Taking a deep breath, Kevin reminded themselves that they were ready. This was it, the moment to start practicing their new social skills. Approaching the group felt like stepping onto a stage, but this time, Kevin felt a spark of confidence. Just then, Lisa, who had the loudest laugh, glanced over and caught Kevin's eye. Instead of turning away, Kevin offered a smile and lifted their chin. Lisa smiled back, and Kevin felt encouraged. To themselves, they thought, just one small step. "Hi, everyone," Kevin said, their voice steady despite the nervous flutter in their stomach. The group turned, surprised but friendly. For a brief moment, the connection felt electric. "What's everyone eating?" Kevin asked, looking at the tasty snacks on the table. It was a simple question, but it opened the door to conversation. "Try the guacamole," Lisa exclaimed, her enthusiasm brightening the room. "It's the best dip here." The excitement in Lisa's voice lit Kevin's spirit. They took a small step forward, joining in the conversation. "I love guacamole. Is it spicy?" As they spoke, Kevin put their focus on listening carefully. Every phrase from the group mattered. They nodded and smiled as they listened to Lisa share her favorite recipes. By listening actively, Kevin felt less pressure to always talk. When they shared a thought, it felt natural. "I love making nachos with it." As the chat continued, Kevin practiced making eye contact. Before, they often looked down, feeling shy. But now, looking in the eyes of their friends made everything feel real and lively. When someone else spoke, Kevin engaged by asking questions, wanting to guide the conversation. When Kevin asked, "What's your favorite way to eat guacamole?" they were surprised when another friend, Mark, jumped into the conversation. "We like to have a guacamole competition at our BBQs." Mark laughed. Kevin joined in, chuckling, as they visualized a friendly kitchen war. They realized how sharing little stories lively often brought joy to the moment. As laughter echoed around them, the tension in Kevin's heart faded away. Every reply and smile encouraged Kevin. They began to understand how small actions could lead to bigger changes. Instead of focusing on fears, Kevin focused on connecting with others, sharing moments filled with laughter and acceptance. It felt like they were entering a new world where every exchange was a chance to grow. Emboldened, Kevin stepped deeper into the conversation. They took turns speaking and engaging, which was a new feeling. Every small effort made a significant difference. When the chatter slowed, Kevin boldly asked, "Can I join in next time you have a cookout?" A wave of excitement washed over them. This simple addition in the changing dynamics made Kevin feel real connection. In that moment, Kevin knew they had crossed a bridge. By taking small steps toward connection, they discovered a world filled with friendships and laughter. They had started practicing their new social skills, one welcoming smile and one simple conversation at a time. Kevin felt a sense of pride. This was just the beginning of a new journey, a step toward a more confident self. Following action. In the weeks that followed that lively gathering, Kevin continued to practice the social skills they had begun to develop. With each interaction, small progress filled Kevin with newfound confidence. At work, they made a point to say good morning to coworkers, even starting brief conversations about weekend plans or favorite shows. When Kevin spoke, they noticed smiles returned immediately. The more they tried, the more comfortable they felt. During team meetings, Kevin began asking questions. At first, it felt scary, but the more they participated, the less anxiety crept in. One day, someone asked for opinions on a project. Kevin took a deep breath and contributed an idea that received nods of agreement. It was exciting. Colleagues thanked them for sharing, and Kevin's heart warmed with joy. It began to feel less like a job and more like a friendly team. Positive connections formed, creating an inspiring environment. Outside of work, Kevin noticed a shift in how they approached friendships. They arranged coffee meetups with friends, excited to share stories. Each time was an opportunity to improve listening skills. While listening closely, Kevin found they had much more to offer than before. Simple moments became significant. Whether discussing a favorite book or laughing at silly jokes, it helped strengthen bonds. Even when meeting new people, Kevin embraced their reflection. One evening at another friend's gathering, a person seemed shy and alone. Kevin recognized the unease from their past. Remembering Mr. Levi's advice, they simply walked over and said, "Hi, I'm Kevin. How are you doing tonight?" The new acquaintance smiled, relieved to have someone step forward to talk. As conversations flowed, Kevin saw this as a chance to practice listening actively. Every experience felt richer, and connections appeared more authentic. Reflecting on these changes helped Kevin appreciate their journey. They thought back to moments of uncertainty. The awkwardness that once made them retreat no longer ruled their thoughts. Instead, courage flowed through them. Kevin could see how sincere efforts had created genuine relationships. Each word exchanged felt like a step toward confidence. One rainy afternoon, Sitting with a good book at home, Kevin found time for deeper self-reflection. They took a few moments to jot down thoughts in a journal. "I've changed," they wrote. "I can start conversations and listen well. I am not afraid to be myself." Every sentence flowed with excitement and hope. It was thrilling to see how far they had come. These reflections reassured Kevin that this journey would continue to grow. "It's okay to take my time," they reminded themselves. As Kevin practiced new skills, they learned how to celebrate little victories. Each handshake, shared laugh, or kind word contributed to their personal growth. Remembering to take pleasure in progress empowered Kevin to trust themselves more. The stories of struggle turned into tales of triumph. Whenever doubt arose, Kevin recalled moments of connection, knowing they had transformed into a person eager to engage. The community surrounding Kevin grew brighter and more vibrant. With each successful encounter, Kevin began to feel in control of how they interacted with others. This realization filled them with hope for what lay ahead. The path to authenticity was before them, and they were ready to embrace it fully. What started as a journey of insecurities had blossomed into a dance of companionship and confidence, bringing joy into everyday life. As Kevin continued to build stronger connections, they began to notice another challenge in their life that needed attention. Their toxic boss, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson often belittled team members and dismissed ideas without thought. In team meetings, he would interrupt Kevin when they tried to speak, making them feel small. Even though Kevin had grown in their social skills, this situation tested their courage. One day, after a difficult meeting where Mr. Thompson had cut them off again, Kevin felt a surge of frustration. Their hands shook slightly as they typed an email to their manager. Instead of saying nothing, Kevin decided to address the behavior directly. "I feel my ideas are not valued during our discussions, and this affects our team dynamics negatively," they wrote, focusing on how these actions impacted the whole team. Writing the email was challenging, but it was necessary for their integrity and well-being. Kevin hit send, feeling a mix of nerves and relief. Almost immediately, they felt a rush of confidence wash over them. Standing up like this was a new experience. It was their way of setting boundaries. When Mr. Thompson reacted to Kevin's email, it did not go as expected. Instead of supporting Kevin, he showed anger and dismissed their feelings entirely. "You need to be tougher, Kevin. This is how we succeed here," he barked in a meeting. The more he reacted negatively, the more urgency Kevin felt to address the issue. Difficult as it was, Kevin refused to back down. They reached out to colleagues who they knew shared similar feelings about Mr. Thompson's behavior. They found that several coworkers felt the same way but had been too afraid to speak out. Learning they were not alone provided Kevin with a new sense of purpose. Together, they brought their concerns to HR, standing as a united front against the toxicity they had experienced. In meetings with HR, Kevin shared their story, explaining how Mr. Thompson's actions affected their work environment. Their heart raced, but the support from their colleagues helped steady their nerves. The HR representative listened closely and nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. "It is important for everyone to feel safe and heard at work. We will investigate this," they assured the group. Kevin's heart swelled with hope, knowing they had taken a real step forward, not only for themselves but for others too. As the days passed, Kevin began to feel a shift in the office culture. Other employees saw their courage and drew inspiration from it. Some even began to speak up themselves, creating conversations that were once avoided. Slowly, the atmosphere shifted, with coworkers feeling empowered to express their ideas. With Kevin's actions making an impact, the environment became more transparent and positive. However, not everyone supported changes. Mr. Thompson became cold toward Kevin and made passive-aggressive comments. But instead of feeling defeated, Kevin became more resolute. They reminded themselves that change takes time, and it is often met with resistance. Knowing they had done the right thing helped strengthen Kevin's resolve. With their rising confidence came clarity. Setting boundaries was crucial not only at work but in all areas of life. Kevin learned that having a voice mattered. As they walked into the office each day, they felt an empowerment they had never known before. Their strength in establishing boundaries led to personal growth. Kevin understood the importance of standing firm and not allowing anyone to dim their light again. This new journey became a source of inspiration, reinforcing the belief that change could happen through courage and self-advocacy. The days at work grew more intense as Kevin watched the change unfold. While Mr. Thompson continued to act cold, the atmosphere began to feel lighter. A few co-workers whispered their encouragement as they passed by Kevin's desk. It was clear that the team was ready to take a stand against the negativity that once ruled their workplace. Kevin felt excitement and support bubbling around them, forming a safe space for growth. One afternoon, during a critical project meeting, the tension spiked when Mr. Thompson suddenly interrupted Kevin mid-sentence. "That idea doesn't make sense. We need results, not fluff." His tone was dismissive and sharp, and the room went silent. Kevin could feel the familiar sting from before, but this time, something felt different. Instead of shrinking away, Kevin took a deep breath and held their ground. They felt the supportive energy of their colleagues, and it gave them strength. A fellow team member, Sarah, stood up. "Wait a moment, Mr. Thompson. I think Kevin is onto something worth considering. Sometimes we need to explore new ideas." This was a turning point. Hearing Sarah speak out not only surprised Kevin but felt like a shield against Mr. Thompson's harshness. Kevin felt backed by their team for the first time. They smiled at Sarah, grateful for the support. The warmth between them made the moment even richer. After Sarah spoke, other co-workers chimed in, sharing their thoughts about Kevin's idea. It felt like a wave of positivity pushed against the negativity they had faced before. Kevin's confidence grew as they presented the full concept, explaining all the details they poured their heart into. The room transformed. Ideas flowed freely, and Mr. Thompson had no choice but to listen. He remained quiet, clearly frustrated, but Kevin now felt empowered to speak without fear. By the end of the meeting, the group decided to take Kevin's ideas and develop them further. Kevin's concept moved forward, becoming a solid plan for the project. This small win meant more than any praise from a manager. It was the support and recognition coming from peers that solidified their growth. Kevin felt a warm glow of accomplishment. They discovered standing firm within a supportive culture could lead to both innovation and success. Kevin also began to find peace amid the toxic environment in other ways. They realized that they could only control their reaction to situations. Whenever Mr. Thompson made an insensitive comment, Kevin learned to take a moment. They would breathe deeply, focusing on their thoughts instead of his words. This new mindset helped bring clarity. No longer would Mr. Thompson's negativity shadow their spirit. Instead, Kevin started daydreaming about future goals, seeking projects that aligned with personal values. They found joy in their work again. As days passed, friends and colleagues stopped by more often, sharing ideas and laughs. Felt like a new beginning. Every small step toward assertiveness inspired Kevin and the team to cultivate a rewarding atmosphere. As Kevin reflected on this journey, they realized change was within reach for everyone. The key steps they followed were simple yet powerful. Believe in yourself, set clear boundaries, and embrace support from friends and colleagues. Each move taken during moments of doubt added layers to their growth. Most importantly, Kevin had learned that it was their voice that echoed the loudest in the crowded room. This personal revelation cleaned the slate for the final resolution of their story, ushering in hope for future adventures in not just work, but in life. Resolution. With time, Kevin's social life transformed in ways they had only dreamed about before. Their relationships became stronger and more genuine. At work, the once quiet team turned into a dynamic, supportive group. Colleagues frequently gathered to discuss ideas, share lunches, and celebrate successes. Kevin felt a sense of belonging with their team. The power of connection blossomed, filling their days with smiles and laughter. Each morning, as Kevin walked into the office, they felt lighter. The anxiety that had clung to them like a shadow slowly faded away. They exchanged friendly greetings with coworkers, sparking quick conversations about weekend plans or recent movies. Kevin began to appreciate the joy in even the simplest interactions. They understood that social skills were not just about speaking but truly connecting with others. In meetings, Kevin found their voice with confidence. They shared thoughts freely, listening to others and encouraging team discussion. It brought new ideas to life. When Mr. Thompson noticed the positive shift in the team, he started to adapt. Although still demanding, he showed more appreciation for collaboration and less negativity. Kevin felt proud knowing their bravery pushed the whole environment in a better direction. Outside of work, friendships grew deeper. Kevin enjoyed quality time with friends, exploring shared interests while supporting one another. They began hosting small gatherings at home. Friends filled the space with laughter, connecting through games and stories. Each gathering reminded Kevin of how meaningful relationships can be when nurtured. Social skills had empowered Kevin to build a vibrant support system around them. Reflecting on their journey, Kevin realized they had changed not just outwardly, but within as well. They were no longer the shy person who hesitated to speak. Instead, they embraced their authentic self. This inner strength inspired them to face challenges with openness and courage. When meeting a stranger or confronting a difficult conversation, Kevin relied on their improved confidence, remembering the journey behind the growth. Moments of self-reflection became part of Kevin's routine. Instead of avoiding discomfort, they sat with their thoughts, inviting clarity. Journaling helped reinforce their new mindset. With each entry, Kevin celebrated progress and identified areas for further growth. "I can speak up. I can connect," they wrote. Affirmations like these became guiding stars in their daily life. Though challenges would still come, Kevin now felt assured that they could handle the ups and downs. The lessons learned were valuable tools. They understood the importance of emotionally connecting with others, creating a more meaningful tapestry of relationships. With this fresh perspective, Kevin was ready to embrace every moment and give their best self to the world. In sharing their story, Kevin inspired friends and colleagues by showing that change is possible. They felt a spark within them, a sense of agency. No longer stuck in a cycle of fear, Kevin became a beacon for others looking for connection and empowerment. As they moved into the next stage of their life, it was clear that defining moments, growth, and community made it all worthwhile. This empowered social life flowed naturally from confidence, courage, and the beautiful essence of truly supporting one another. Kevin's journey illustrated the power of resilience and the importance of believing in oneself, making every step forward meaningful. As months went by, Kevin found themselves stepping into new adventures with confidence. The support they had built among friends and coworkers filled their life with joy. Inspired by the changes they had made, Kevin decided it was time to think about their career path. Their confidence had opened doors, and they felt ready to explore new opportunities. One day, as Kevin scrolled through job listings, a particular position caught their eye. It was a role in a company focused on community work and helping others. Reading the job description, Kevin felt excited. It resonated with their values and the passion they had developed for connecting with people. Instead of merely applying, they approached the process with intention. Kevin remembered the steps they had taken to establish connections. They polished their resume, emphasizing their teamwork skills and experiences in problem-solving. Feeling prepared, Kevin submitted their application with a hopeful heart. The waiting was tense, but this time, Kevin managed the anxiety much better. They kept that familiar voice in their thoughts. "You have grown. You can handle whatever happens." After a week, Kevin received an interview invitation. The news filled them with excitement and a little nervousness, but they were determined. The day of the interview arrived. Kevin walked into the room feeling proud of their growth. They greeted the interviewers with a genuine smile, remembering the power of awareness and connection. During the interview, Kevin showcased their skills with the strength of someone who truly believed in themselves. They shared honest stories about how they overcame past challenges, focusing on their journey and the lessons learned. After the interview, Kevin felt a renewed sense of purpose, regardless of the outcome. They immersed themselves in activities that sparked joy daily. They joined clubs focused on personal growth and well-being. Running through a local park, attending workshops, or volunteering allowed Kevin to network and make new friends. Each moment became a chance to practice skills and reflect on their progress. Weeks later, Kevin received an email offering them the job. Excitement bubbled within them. This new opportunity aligned perfectly with their desire to grow within a community-oriented role. Accepting the position felt like solidifying their journey of resilience and self-discovery. As life unfolded, Kevin continued to embrace every experience with open arms. They cherished building relationships, whether with colleagues or new friends at work. Every conversation was a chance for sharing ideas and growing together. They remembered to stay kind to themselves during challenges, understanding the value of self-compassion. Reflecting on their journey, Kevin recognized that learning how to navigate challenges was just as important as celebrating successes. They focused on setting achievable goals, grabbing every chance for self-improvement. Affirmations became a regular practice. Each day, they would look in the mirror and say, "I am strong, and I can connect deeply." This nurturing mindset turned obstacles into stepping stones. With hope and excitement for a brighter future, Kevin took command of their path. They saw potential everywhere, realizing it is never too late to create change. Each new step taken, from celebrating small wins at work to embracing fresh challenges, became a powerful reminder that personal growth leads to genuine happiness. The future felt bright and full of possibilities, as Kevin enthusiastically prepared to write the next chapter of their story, one where connection, confidence, and joy intertwine in an ever-vibrant journey.